I mean, this is a sport that's on the precipice of irrelevance.
The games are taking over 3.5 hours. Playoff games are taking over 4 hours.
Game's too long, too slow. Who cares?
This is a situation where baseball's in trouble to begin with.
I hate to break it to you, baseball's dead.
Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
I don't know what the fuck's going on
No.
because like
Jared.
Dallas used to be the resident old guy on the show that like his internet didn't work. It would cut out. He didn't know how to connect the microphone, didn't know how to connect the headphones. Like he would have like a 50-foot like Ethernet cable running from his house out to his like fucking guest house to do the show. I'm like, this has to be some sort of hazard. And then out of nowhere, like he, you know, obviously he still has his issues with the headphones from time to time, but it kind of corrected itself. And now Jayhay, through almost an osmosis kind of process, has taken over as the old guy on the show that doesn't know how technology works.
I have a theory, Jared. I have a theory. This is what's happened. Is he has been absolutely mentally bungled because of what Family Feud has done to this man. What Family Feud has done to this man.
That's your theory?
It's not even a theory. I think
I thought you were
at
gonna
this
say
point,
fatherhood.
No, at this point it has proven itself. At this point, we have what is called a track record. There is a body of work here now that we can refer to as to why Jayhay is in fucking shambles. I mean, it's not only starting to come out in the process of just getting on the internet, but Jared, once this dude gets on the internet, it's problematic. It is old man
that's
yelling at the
that's
cloud.
The other thing that happened. He was getting before we hit record. I said doing baseball is dead to me now feels like doing a podcast with my grandparents, where like it's just I'm like there's no way, there's absolutely no way. And yesterday, was it this morning, Jayhay, or yesterday? Because I saw it this morning.
No, it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday, he gets into a tiff with someone on Twitter. And then he sends out a tweet to everyone that was supposed to be a reply to just this one guy. And then replies to that is like, you know what? This is kind of just a general warning for everybody. Are you all right? Like, is this something that I need to, look out for? The like early stages of something that's going degeneratively wrong with your brain?
No, I think my brain's as sharp as it ever was. I think for anybody who saw that exchange that you're talking about, they know that I've still got that fastball, that I've still got that A game. That was such a lopsided discussion that it made me feel concussed. I was wondering whether something was going on. The technology stuff, listen, there's no way to walk away from that. It's Frazzle City this morning. And I even, because Thursday's pod was a little bit hectic, I wanted to make sure that, or the pre-record I'm talking about, I wanted to make sure we were in good shape, and I came up here and tried to prevent exactly what happened, and instead I'm ending the sessions before we start recording, and I'm, there's echoes all over the place. So I think I'm okay.
It looked like you were being constricted by your microphone cord. At one point in time, there was like a wrist behind your back, the cord around your neck.
Yeah.
You thought you had it, and then just fade to black, screen gone. It was a moment.
It's getting bad. They're starting to pile up now.
So I mean,
well,
I'm concerned as a friend. I want to get out in front of this. If it's something where you see something, say something. I'm saying something.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope this clip isn't like the beginning that people clip off and say,
that's when it
Jared
started.
saw it first.
Well, we felt like having the talk with you publicly is maybe the best way to go about this.
No, that's good.
Right.
Well, I hope I don't have dementia.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, that would be quite sad. Before we dive into that, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Kalshi. The largest prediction market in the United States, Kalshi allows you to trade and win real money on events like sports and entertainment. Let's make one thing clear. Kalshi is not a sports book. On Kalshi, you are not playing against the house. You are trading head-to-head against other people. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. This makes Kalshi an exchange. That means that they do not profit when you lose. The lines are not set by them. Lines move based on where the money goes. Public opinion is what sets the line, not some algorithm that's working against you. Kalshi is not regulated by states. Instead, it is CFTC approved, meaning it is a federally regulated exchange, and that's why it is available across the United States. If you want to try it for yourself, Kalshi will give you $20 when you trade $20 if you use our promo code, which is BID. When you sign up, promo code BID on the Kalshi app. Make sure you check them out today. Yeah, I think... I don't know what we have cooking for our Kalshi segment for today, but I would like to see the AL West odds on Kalshi ever since the A's won 5 straight, Dallas?
That's right. 5 out of 6, yes. 5 out of 6. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 5 straight, though.
5 out of 4 straight. We took the last 2 in New York, and then, sweep. So, 5.
So you've won 5 straight?
Yes. That's what we just said.
Hey,
like,
back to the see something, say something.
Yeah, I don't know, what the fuck is...
Yeah, I nailed it. What are you talking about? Yeah, 5 straight.
Yeah, I remember grinding my feet into Eddie's couch.
Yeah. It's so, I don't know. Every day on the show, I'm just like, man, it's just reminding me more and more of just your grandparents. You're like, yeah. No, it's 4 out of 5. Like I said, it was 5 straight. Okay.
5 straight.
Okay, yeah, 5 straight for the A's, who are now tied for first place.
Correct. Tied for first place.
Yeah. Jayhay, could you by any chance pull up some of the AL West odds on Kalshi? I'd love to see what that market looks like in terms of the A's chances. I don't know that. I just hope that they have a little bit more respect now. I don't think that their odds to win the division is going to be much greater than it was.
Oh, I believe
a little bit more respect.
I believe it will be. I believe it will be. People are understanding that, and that's the beautiful part about Kalshi, right? What drives this is fan interest / fan knowledge. And folks know ball.
Fan belief.
Folks know ball. And if you know ball, you know the green and gold ain't dicking around right now. This is a team that is headed in the right direction. I mean, they are playing a great brand of baseball. And the idea is, Jared, they're not even at full strength, and they're not even playing their best brand of baseball right now. Not even playing their best brand of baseball. I mean, we just absolutely dog walked the New York Mets, and it was Nick Kurtz's first home run. First home run of the season, and that was all the offense they needed. The first homer he hits this year is all the offense they needed against a lowly Mets club. Like, that's where the A's are at right now. They're missing.
I want to get to the Mets as a separate discussion.
Yeah.
Let's save the Mets. Let's save the Mets for after this. We can stick positive on the A's. But Dallas, before we get the actual answer, where would you guess right now on the Kalshi app? Where do you have the A's in terms of the best odds to win the AL West and the AL West?
Hi, shooter.
In 2026.
What do you want, a percentage? Is that what you're looking for?
No, where are they? Are they the third best odds? Are they the second, fourth?
I would say bare minimum, they've got to be the third best odds. Bare minimum.
No, Jayhay?
I would say that's more like a bare maximum.
No, see, well, maybe
as of this writing, they are 4th in the division, 11% market share right now for the Athletics. The Astros are at 20, the Rangers are at 27, and the Mariners are still at an overwhelming 46%. I will note that
that is insane.
Well, I'll just note one more thing before I turn it back to you guys. The Athletics peaked in terms of the Kalshi market at 15.5%, and that was on April 11th. So obviously 2 days ago, Saturday, they were at 15.5%. They've cooled off a little bit since then, but this is their first time in double digits since early February. So there is something of a changing of the tides there.
Yeah, I would hope so.
How does it make you feel, Dallas?
Well, I mean, look, the bottom line is things are, in the AL West landscape specifically, things are changing. Things are changing. And I mean, look, I hate to bring this up as a point of why the Astros and their confidence might look a little different when you really dive into it, but they're light a few arms in their rotation as of right now. The tip of that spear in the rotation is down, and don't know how long it's going to be for Hunter Brown to get back. Christian Javier just went down. Like I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying there's a lot left to be desired from an Astros health perspective that would, I think, give me pause in continuing to invest in where the Astros are headed at the end of this thing. So if you think it's going to be a long season and they're going to be back and healthy and at full strength, okay, I can respect that. Is Yordan Alvarez an absolute beast that can carry the offense? Sure. He's not going to carry him for 6 months. Nobody carries.
I'm going to ask Jayhay a very interesting question right now. Are you prepared for this question, Justin Havens?
Always. Never been sharper.
I need you to pull up the MLB standings right now. So it is April 13th, Monday, April 13th. We are halfway through the first full month of the Major League Baseball season, which means that there could be a lot of juggling going around in each Major League division.
I'm ready when you are.
I need you to answer this question for me, Justin Havens. Who is the most fraudulent first place team entering play on this April 13th slate?
Oh, I'm very prepared to answer that question. And the answer is the Minnesota
Twins. Yep.
Yeah, I think they stick out like a sore thumb. I think all the other teams we talked about as being in a larger pool of either the division title favorites, postseason contenders, or like fringe wildcard teams. The Twins, we did not.
The Rays?
I think they are the other worst team, but I certainly felt better about the Rays'
Pirates?
chances. Yeah, I picked the Pirates to make the postseason. I think the Twins are playing well above their capabilities, and I do think, obviously, we all know that the AL Central is not particularly strong, but I don't think a 9-7, 16-game sample is going to be reflective of what the Twins do overall this season.
And Jay,
who is the most inaccurate? Hold on. Who's the most inaccurate?
He's digging Jayhay.
Last place team. Who's the team that it's like, all right, they're in last right now, but there's absolutely no chance they're finishing in last place.
Just
there is literally no possible chance, and we can mark it down right now, that the Mets finish in last place this year. I don't think.
Good try, Jared. Good try.
I mean,
He's still thinking. Shut the fuck up.
No, I am still thinking, because
huge effort.
Like there are the Cubs and the Red Sox are also in last place for those who don't have, and the Blue Jays for that matter, if we're talking about tied in the standings. So there are lots of possible answers for this. The only reason that
Red Sox among them.
The only reason that I'm disinclined to take either of the AL East teams is because we just kind of know the nature of the AL East, and that a team can in fact finish in last place in the AL East and be like not a terrible team. And
so you have hope, Jared. You have hope.
Yeah,
it's cute.
I think the other side of that is there any team currently in last place that we would expect to finish there? And I think like
the White Sox.
I think the White Sox are the answer to that
and the
question.
Rockies.
And obviously
the Rockies are,
tied, but
I guess, tied for. I talked to Rocky's Ben before we came on today.
Yeah,
and he said he was miserable, but I said, listen, silver linings here. You're in a position right now where some of the best calls of the weekend came from those Rockies games.
Yeah, Jared, here's where the Red Sox are right now. All right.
The Red Sox.
They have
an O.
6 wins. All right. There's
2 games back.
There's another team that has 6 wins. One of their biggest acquisitions of the offseason was a bidet, right? In the Chicago White Sox. That was, Murakami, sure, but a bidet.
Yeah, but they got Murakami, who's been great.
The other 2 teams, Jared, one are experimenting with a college baseball coach as their manager, and the other team plays baseball on the fucking moon.
I'm going to tell him that you said that because you pretend to be his friend to his face, but you just called him a college baseball coach.
Well, that's what he was, Jared. He was a college
kind of
baseball
disrespectful.
coach. He was a college baseball
Yeah, but you said you said he'll be nothing more than a college baseball coach.
No, I don't think I said that at all.
Yeah, you
Look,
said it. Actually, you know what?
this
He
is
said
sad.
he just called me before the show. He was like, Tony V fired before Memorial Day is what he said.
This is sad to see what last place will do to a guy. How quickly
It is crazy.
erodes the brain.
It is
but Jay,
crazy.
I'm glad you brought
Yeah.
up all those teams that you were talking about, the division contenders, because just to get back on the Athletic stock here, I don't
we
know
weren't
that there
talking
was a
about them.
team. I don't know that there was a team that had a tougher start to their season.
I think we talked about them and we kind of like moved on to a
No,
different
no,
topic,
we
but-
absolutely didn't. You were trying to frame it as how the A's were the most fraudulent first place team and the Red
I did
Sox
not say
were
that.
the most hopeful last place team. That's exactly what you were
I just
trying
asked
to do.
Jayhay a question.
But unfortunately,
I asked Jayhay a
Jayhay,
question.
using his brain, didn't fall into your fucking plat. Sorry,
Not the most trustworthy brain, Dallas. So I don't know if that
Hey,
that
hey,
makes a
hey,
great
hey.
case for you.
didn't happen. But nobody in baseball had a tougher start to their season from a schedule or travel situation standpoint. Nobody.
Oh, the
Nobody.
travel. Shut the fuck up.
Nobody. East Coast.
Oh,
East
man.
Coast for
Our
10
private
days.
jet had to be in the air, not extra hour.
Buddy, I mean, I know you've never traveled.
I mean, the
East
A's
Coast
probably
for
fly
10 days,
Spirit,
and
if we're
then
being
back to the
honest,
West
right?
Coast for
Like,
3 days,
the
and
A's
then
are flying
back to
Spirit.
the East Coast to mop up
Yeah.
the New York teams. Yeah, nobody had a tougher. Who are the Toronto Blue Jays supposed to be? An AL East contender, right?
Toronto Blue Jays are decimated by injuries.
Who are the Atlanta
Decimated.
Braves supposed to be? An NL East contender. Who are the Houston Astros supposed to be? An AL West contender. Who are the New York Yankees supposed to be? An AL East contender. Who are the New York
I don't
Mets
know
supposed to
about
be? An NL East contender. And
Yeah,
what
I'll give you
happened?
that one.
And what happened? The A's came out of that first 15-game schedule with a winning record.
Yeah. By one game, yeah.
No, that's called a winning
one game
record.
over 500.
The Red Sox
Yep,
right now have
definitely
a
winning
losing
record.
record. Losing record.
Not over their last 6 games, they don't. So
Can I pull out one of the teams that was mentioned in that grouping and ask you guys about your
Braves?
level of concern?
yes.
Because the Blue Jays, we just kind of glossed over the fact that the Blue Jays are 6-9, but like they have a negative 25 run differential. Only the White Sox are worse. Like, I'm not saying that I'm out on the Blue Jays or that the concern should be super, super high, but I do think, like, given what the Yankees have shown earlier this season, this past weekend, notwithstanding with the offense, like I do think the panic level is a little higher in Toronto than you would think for a defending AL champion 15 games into the season.
Yes. But it's less about slow starts and more about look at the injuries that
For
they've
sure.
experienced.
But some of those aren't coming
it's-
back, you know?
Correct. Yeah, no. Do I have a concern level for the Toronto Blue Jays? Yes. Is it full on abandoned ship? No. I need to see more. Because they could have guys that step up. Like Trey Savage last year was not someone that I think many of us factored into the equation around this time. This time last year, we weren't thinking about him. So I don't know. Maybe there are solutions that they have internally, or that ownership has committed financially at a level where I don't think that you let a season where you are essentially all in coming off a Game 7 of the World Series loss. You don't just let the opportunity slip away. Maybe at least if you've experienced this kind of level of injury to your roster, it gives you enough runway to address it versus it's August 15th and you're like, fuck, well, now what do we do? This is what it is, and we're a sinking ship.
The injury situation for the Blue Jays is a very real issue. It is a very real issue, especially when you think about what they have on the shelf from a starting pitching standpoint. I mean, that is when healthy, is Barrios, Bieber, Ponce, now you Savage, Bowden Francis?
Cease.
And Cease? Like, are these not, is that not a pretty good rotation?
No, it is.
That's your rotation, yeah.
I mean, well, we're a first place rotation, so I mean that's a nice compliment, Jared. Yeah, so Jared's
It's
calling.
what?
Jared's calling them a first place rotation right now. So Jared says that the Toronto Blue Jays have a first place starting rotation on the shelf right now. His words, not mine. I felt like they were pretty good. Felt like they were competitive. Jared's vaulting them to a first place contending rotation that is on the injured list. So that kind of gives you insight as to what sort of uphill battle the Blue Jays are facing strictly from an injury perspective. And then you think about the guys that they have on the shelf from an offensive perspective. Barger, Kirk, Springer with the toe. I mean, Santander, don't know that when we're going to see him, if we're going to see him. Like that's missing a whole lot.
It's not a good situation, no.
I mean, they've lost 20+% off their playoff odds since the start of the season. So,
and I got to believe a lot
even
of
if you
that.
fudge those directions in either, like, even if you think that's 5% wrong or whatever in either direction, like, they've gone from 60 to 37.5 per Fangraphs. And, the Kalshi market, as far as AL East, hasn't necessarily been much kinder. I mean, they're already down to 4th in the market for the AL East on Kalshi, which to me is, I mean, it's not more alarming, but the fact that there is a growing consensus on how kind of quickly dire the Blue Jays situation has become, just to me feels like a little bit of a disconnect with how we would usually treat a reigning AL champion that a lot of people thought was building forward and wasn't some team that would kind of be a one-year standout, which if they're bad this year, like, it does kind of start to ask a lot of questions about what does this team look like moving forward. Obviously, we got a long way to go, but
Did you guys both pick the Jays for the AL East?
no, I picked the Yankees.
Oh, so you're an asshole?
Nope, just I've got a brain that people talk a lot about. They say it's very, very sharp and getting sharper.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I do that.
I picked the Yankees, and then I admittedly fell victim to PTSD after watching Gosman and Cease dissect our lineup in back-to-back days, and then I went with the Blue Jays.
Are you having buyer's remorse?
A little bit.
Ooh,
A little bit.
yikes!
Yeah. Yep. I am. Admittedly.
I am a little bit, but at the end of the day, I don't know who I would switch to if given the opportunity. Like, if it's not Toronto, I don't know who I would feel confident in winning this division.
Not the Yankees?
Because the Yankees are bad. The Rays are not. They're like, eh. The Orioles have gotten off to an start. So probably the Red Sox. They are the best team after all that.
So, I mean, we're in that see something, say something mindset right now, right?
What's wrong with what I just said?
I just don't know that they're going to be the best team at the end of the season. I just don't see that happening.
Well, yeah, that's why we have to watch the games, of course. We're all just forecasting and predicting. No one really knows the answers to these questions yet.
Speaking of watching the games, good opportunity to plug Just the Nuts.
Yeah, Just the Nuts tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun little slate watching the games. And it's last week was very cool because we got a full-out brawl. Usually, I think that was the first brawl in the history of Just the Nuts. Very exciting times. There were 7-game suspensions handed out to both parties, which were appealed. But the Just the Nuts slate for April 14th, who are we going to get to see, Jayhay? We're going to get to see a little...
There's a lot of cool stuff going on, actually.
Cole Reagans and Framber Valdez going head-to-head.
Gosman and Mizorowski are going, speaking of two struggling would-be contenders, or at least in the Brewers' case, coming off of a rough single series. You get Noah Schultz's...
Yamamoto.
Yeah, McLean Yamamoto. You also get Noah Schultz's debut for the White Sox up against Shane McClanahan, which is not McLean Yamamoto, but is kind of cool that we get a top prospect debut tomorrow night as well. If you're into the Slab Lab,
about Gore Springs,
I have heard you're the first, but I guess that means that people are. If you're into Slab Lab, we got a Woo Michael King matchup tomorrow night as well.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of cool stuff
That'd be
happening.
cool. Yeah, look at that. Just the Nuts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be streaming tomorrow night. Very excited for that. It's I'm reluctant to say this on this particular program, but it's Ellen's birthday tomorrow.
I think that's very nice.
It is.
It's lovely.
So happy birthday to Ellen. No. Okay. All right. Not today, I said. It's not today. You making a reminder?
45th, I think it is.
Somewhere in there.
45th birthday, Dallas, if you wanted to.
Yeah, 40.
Oh, I mean, it's really all about how you feel inside.
That's right.
Ooh, that's funny.
It's nice that Ellen doesn't hold any of Dallas's stuff against me. I got a nice warm greeting when I was at Jared's house the last time.
Yeah.
This disgusting behavior doesn't stick to me.
No. No.
Oh, Jay, you can't. I am showing an immense amount of restraint right now. Oh, man. The only thing warmer than her greetings, her brownies.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to my mom. This episode of Baseball is Dead, as always, is sponsored by BetterHelp. We love the good folks at BetterHelp. It's a good time to remind you that financial stress can affect more than we know. And financial stress affects far more than our bank accounts. It can take a serious toll on mental health and relationships, with 88% of Americans feeling some form of financial stress at the start of 2026. Money worries often bring anxiety, sleep disruption, and even depression, and are one of the leading sources of conflict for couples. This month, we want to normalize the emotional weight of financial stress and remind people that struggling with money doesn't mean that you've failed. Sometimes it's just about accessing the right kind of support. This is pretty much why I'm in therapy this month. A lot of financial stress, going independent, not the easiest thing in the world, especially, when there's a lot of moving parts to all that, and you're working with your friends. You need someone outside of the group to talk to. That's where BetterHelp can come in and help you guys as well. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. BetterHelp does the initial matchmaking work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals, and a short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means that they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally, and it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up right now and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/baseball. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball. Back to the show. How about Andy Pages?
Yeah,
He leads baseball in everything. I tweeted, he hit a home run over the weekend, and I was like, I kind of figured that last year was going to be his breakout year, but it seems like his breakout year is happening now. Didn't he hit like 37 home runs last year? Something crazy like that?
Yeah, he was. I think he. Is it
Yeah,
fair to say that he
27.
burst onto the scene?
27. I'm thinking of Joe Adele. Yeah, I mean, he's 25 years old. Yeah, he's 25. He 3.8 WAR last year, and he hit 272 with a 774 OPS, 115 OPS plus. But this year, he's hitting 429 with an 1181 OPS. It's a 235 OPS plus. He leads the league in WAR at 1.5, leads the league in hits with 24, leads the league in RBI with 17, leads the league in average 429, leads the league in OBP 467. I don't know who the fuck is slugging better than him. He's slugging 714.
Jared, he only has
3 people actually.
He only has 3 games that he's gone hitless in this season. 3 games he's gone hitless in. He's got fucking 4 3-hit games already. Like
It's crazy.
Dude's on fire. Dude is absolutely
Who's out slugging him, Jayhay?
on fire.
Your boy Ben Rice,
Yeah,
Jordan.
dickhead.
All right. I mean, you got his Rice, right? Jordan
I did,
Alvarez
yeah.
and Jordan Walker.
Yeah, Jordan Walker's been a menace.
Yeah.
Hit a
What,
couple
6
more
homers?
home runs over the weekend.
He's at
homers,
7 now.
8
He hit one
games.
yesterday.
Good God.
League leading 7 homers. But hold on, I don't want to move off of Pages yet because you said something that caught my ear, which is when you were reading off of his stat line from last year, you said 3.8 wins above replacement. And what's funny about that is that, like, it's just so jarring the amount of talent that the Dodgers have sometimes that a literal almost 4-win season by a age 24 outfielder
Correct.
was essentially just not discussed. I'm not saying Dodgers fans didn't appreciate it, but like on the national larger level, mostly nobody cared or noticed or took that much interest in his season. And like, if he is taking a step forward, what just a laughable excess of riches that the Dodgers have. And it's not just, if he is actually taking the step forward that you're talking about, again, he's in his age 25 season. So you would then have quite a runway of an impact level player, even if you didn't even consider him impact last year, which you certainly could have at 3 to 4 wins above replacement. So just in it, like,
Well, it's crazy to think that within a month of the season, he has accumulated already almost half of the WAR that he posted last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
In
what's-
15 games.
Right. 15. We're talking 15. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of baseball. He's almost half as valuable in these 2 weeks of baseball as he was in a
In
breakout season
156 games last year.
last year.
Yeah, like a full slate last year.
Yep. I'll still never. I had dinner with Kike in spring training, and he's like, bro, he's like, I didn't even expect it, but like, I don't know that I could ever be. How'd he phrase it? He said something. He was like, I don't know that I would ever be more appreciative of another man like putting his balls in my face than when Paez made the catch in the outfield. He's like, I just didn't expect it. Dude just came out of nowhere, and he's like, like just how Kike, because obviously Kike is a character. But he was like, dude's unbelievable. Dude is unbelievable. And I mean, you
I
look,
was talking to Kike about Pages over the weekend.
yeah, a lot of good things to say.
Well, and it's while you look for that, it's also just things like this that help to paper over what we were talking about like a week or two ago on the podcast, which was what becomes of the Dodgers without Mookie Betts, and an Andy Pages breakout where he's delivering 50% of his last season value in 1/10 of the games played is a great way to make Mookie Betts' absence feel like it's not really there, even if they're not playing the same position or doing the same things.
Yeah. Yeah, it was part of a lengthier conversation, but Pages came up. And I was like, guy's a fucking menace. He said he's on a hell of a run right now. I don't know that run's going to stop. I don't think he's going to hit. I'll take the under on 429, and I'll probably take the under on like 1,100 OPS. But, yeah, this is a guy that special player who I think maybe is allowed to be as good as he is because the pressure's off. Like, I don't have to be that guy for this team.
No.
Like, we've got fucking 5 other dudes that have either an MVP or a Cy Young or some sort of league-wide recognition for how great they are. I can just go out there and be me. And when I do that, I'm actually really good. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Well,
yeah.
Jared,
Need Mookie to figure his shit out, though.
Speaking of pressure being off, I want to talk about a guy who, when the pressure is on, there's just nobody on the planet right now better at finishing baseball games on the mound than Mason Miller. There is nobody on the planet. I just kind of want to put this into perspective right now. 7 1/3 total innings for Mason Miller. on the season. 7 1/3 innings. All right. 19 punch outs. That's 22 outs he's been asked to get. He's been asked to get 22 outs. He's got one appearance of 4 outs. One appearance of 4 outs. So out of the 22 outs that he's been asked to get, which he has gotten, only 3 of them have not been strikeouts. That's 23 at-bats against Mason Miller. 19 strikeouts. 1 walk. He's logged 4 saves and a win in that time. That is other planet. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with that.
His FIP
Like we
is
talk about
negative.
Yeah, good.
Like,
yeah.
How does that work? His FIP is negative 163.
It's the baseball gods realize, like, every day that Mason Miller wakes up and opens his eyes in bed, the FIP goes down. They're like, well, yep, you're fucked today. Who's ever facing him?
So, like,
That's
think about it
stupid.
from, like, a starting pitcher perspective. Like,
I know.
imagine
Gary
having 1 out in the 8th inning and
With
you are
19
1
punch
strikeout
outs.
away from a 20 strikeout game. Like,
Trust me.
you've still got 2 outs in the 8th in the full 9th, and you're at 19 strikeouts. If
Yeah.
we saw that game, we would be like, what the fuck are we watching right now?
And I think what's even crazier to think about too, Jared, is like just the body of work in totality. All right. Do you realize how many pitches he's thrown? He's thrown 93 pitches. So guess what? We're leaving him out there, Jared. We're leaving him out there. This is a starting performance, and you've got 19 punch outs in the fucking 8th inning. Buddy, yep, keep going. Keep going. I mean, he was...
Imagine, his slider moves, like, Dallas stood in against it. You saw it on Slab Lab, but, I mean, if you tuned into any Padres game, like, his slider moves a ridiculous amount, and he's throwing 104, quite literally, and he has walked 1 batter. 1. So for as hard as he throws and for as much movement as the slider has, he's not just hucking it up there and hoping for the best. He is surgically slicing and dicing you, and he's doing it he's like, yep, let's go. He's like a security guard at a concert venue that's just like trying, yep, you're good. He's just keeping the line moving. That's it. Like he's obviously there's been a lot of dominant closers in history that have electric shit and they throw hard, but walks have become their undoing at times. Mason Miller has walked 1 batter this year. And I would like to go back and look at the tape. Like, was it a 4-pitch walk? Was it a 3-2 count? Like, was it a questionable call?
So to that point, Jared, think about this. The most pitches he's thrown in an outing so far has been 19, and that was in that 4-out body of work. 19. He's had two innings where he was close to a potential, 2 innings where he was close to a potential immaculate inning. Like 2 outings where he threw just 10 pitches. Punched out 3, punched out 2.
That's got to be such a great feeling when it's like, of course he's trying to hit spots and everything, but he can just kind of aim middle, and it's like, yeah, good luck, dude.
Well, that's what makes this dude. That's why he is such a freak, is because you're talking about a guy who has, we'll call it starting pedigree, meaning he's had starting experience. He has starting experience under his belt, so he understands the value in putting the baseball in certain spots when you're trying to pace yourself. But now you let that animal out of his cage and go, hey, just aim for a side of the plate. I don't need you to try to like put this thing in thirds. I don't need you to 9-box it. Aim for a side of the plate and then choose top or bottom, however you want to go about it. Well, Mason he's more complex than that from a mental approach. So now you're allowing a guy who has this kind of stuff to go out there and, I mean, dot and dot and dot and dot. He's hitting all 4 quadrants with ease, but it's the power behind the shit, like the shape of the slider, the life on the fastball. These are the things that are making him so difficult to contend with. That's just not fun. It's not a fun at bat by any stretch. You're talking about, I mean, when it's 104, that's one thing. You're dealing with the velocity. But now you're also dealing with 18 inches of vert, which means that ball at 104, I'm not going to tell you it looks like it's climbing because you ain't seeing shit. It sounds like it's climbing. It sounds like a fucking F-16 taking off an aircraft carrier. Like, what? What was that? All right. I don't know. I think it was a strike. Sounded like a strike. Sounded hard. Yeah, it was. Nobody saw it, though. And the slider at 87 to 90. I mean, it's out of the hand, and then it's a wipeout. It's a wipeout. And because you're dealing with 104, like I saw it was fucking, what was it, Jay? January? It was January. And it was 102 miles an hour. Just starting to loosen up. And then he threw a fucking slider that started at my face, and I wanted to shit myself. And it was a strike.
That's what I'm saying is like he doesn't need the help psychologically right now. He's given up one hit to start the year, but he doesn't hit a lot of batters. He's got to sprinkle some in here and there just so that like guys are going to the plate being like, dude, fuck this.
Well,
he hasn't hit a batter all year. He did not hit a batter when he got to the Padres in 22 games. He didn't hit a batter. And then he only hit one with the A's in 38 appearances before getting dealt. A guy with that kind of velocity and that kind of shit, you got to sprinkle in some like whoopsie, but actually on purpose hitting guys just so that it's got to be in the back of my mind. If I'm a hitter and I'm like, all right, he's got 104, but he can control it. He doesn't walk anyone. He hasn't hit a batter all year. I'm going up there and I'm picking a location. I'm picking a quadrant and I'm hunting heaters in that one spot. And if it happens to be a slider and I look like an asshole, well, at least I survived. But if he's someone where it's like he's hit 3 guys in the last week, it's like, oh, fuck. Like, I need to at least be prepared to hit the deck just in case.
Have you seen his new entrance?
Of course.
Okay.
I think it's a little crazy that he wasn't familiar with Korn at all, but
I mean, it's a band from, I don't want to call them days gone by, but
I was in middle school listening to Led Zeppelin, so shut the fuck up.
Well, Korn is not Led Zeppelin. We can just start there.
They are like one of the biggest rock bands of the 90s, and I was in the 90s listening to one of the biggest rock bands of the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, Led Zeppelin is, I don't know. I mean, we don't need to get into this debate, but I feel like Led Zeppelin probably carries a little more cachet than Korn does.
Not like
Korn has not sustained in the preceding decade.
Yes, they have. Oh, yes, they have. They're still selling out arenas.
Are they really?
Yes.
Because they're bad.
No,
I think that
they're
music
not.
is bad. I think his entrance is not that good.
That's just like your opinion, man.
No, it is. It's definitely just my opinion. I'm not. Yeah, that's what music is to me.
Yeah, I didn't have Jared. Yeah. I didn't have Jared putting Korn above Led Zeppelin on today's podcast.
That's not what I said.
But
in terms of like cultural impact within your decade,
you're saying Led Zeppelin's just a bunch of fucking tambourine bangers, and Korn is
no.
That's kind of what you.
I would say this.
No.
I'm going to say this: if Korn had a similar cultural impact in their decade as Led Zeppelin, my mind is going to be blown. I'm not saying that's not the case. I don't know enough. Okay. Yeah. That blows my mind. That's what I'm going to take away from episode 406.
Go watch fucking Woodstock 99. Go watch Korn's set and tell me that they weren't culturally important. They like headlined fucking Woodstock and they were
that's a big
biggest one. Yeah.
But it was like the other Woodstock, you know?
I can't believe Jared just called Led Zeppelin the Miss Rachel of rock bands.
Hold on. Can we go back to Mace for a second? Because I want you guys to answer these off the cuff.
Yeah.
Is he a viable candidate for the NL Cy Young this year?
Yes. I don't think he'll win, but yes.
I mean, if this continues to trend in any, like if he just stays in the neighborhood of what he's doing right now, he will 100% receive Cy Young votes. 100%.
Oh, I think he'll receive votes. I guess I'm raising this, and I didn't prep you, but like I'm raising the standard a little bit. Like, is he a legitimate finalist contender? Like a top 3 on the ballot? Skeens, Yamamoto, Mason Miller.
The one thing that will have to come along with it is success for the San Diego Padres, because his performances will have to have meant something. And I think that's something that voters will separate or use to separate his viability as a candidate, is whether or not the Padres are competitive. Because it'd be one thing if the Padres are, they finish 3rd and they're not in the postseason or whatever it may be, and Mason Miller just continues to dominate the way he does. Yeah. Because, how important were those 40-plus saves for a team that doesn't go to the postseason? And then I think if you're a team that ekes in, or maybe even does a lot better than you thought you were going to do in the division and finds himself in the postseason, because I don't think anybody here has the San Diego Padres dethroning the Los Angeles Dodgers for the division. So maybe it's fair to say, hey, if the Padres squeak into a wild card, Mason Miller could very well be a top 3 candidate in the Cy Young.
Jared?
I was thinking top 5.
Yeah.
I didn't exactly immediately go to like his face is going to pop up on MLB Network, but I do think, I mean, it's not a what if, that because Dallas is like, if he keeps trending in this direction, it's like, well, yeah, if he goes the entire season striking out 95% of the batters that he faces and doesn't give up another hit or a run, then yeah, he'll probably win the Cy Young. But I'm sure that there will be some sort of comeback down to earth period. But even Mason Miller coming back down to earth he's still better than every other reliever in the game. Yeah. It's just like, where does that fit amongst like the starting pitchers who dominate this year? Don't know.
When Zach Britton finished 4th in the AL Cy Young in 2016 with that 0.54 ERA, which is obviously, that's about as low as Mason's probably going to be able to finish with an ERA, I would imagine. But what would be interesting is that Britton had 74 strikeouts that year, and Mace would be at least double, if not more.
I was going to say he's definitely passing 100 strikeouts.
So related, the second question I wanted to ask before we move on, related maybe to the first question, will Mason Miller still be a Padre after the trade deadline this season?
Ooh.
That's
an interesting question.
That is a more.
You're never going to have a guy at a higher peak of his value than right now. Maybe the A's thought that when they dealt him last year. Turns out maybe not, but we all know the A's got a great return. Nobody's complaining about that.
Nope.
But if the Padres are sort of what you guys are suggesting, and I will say what I think they will be, it's a fringe wild card team probably at best. Are you holding on to Mace if you're, 4 games out of a wild card and 12 games out of the division or whatever? Throw those numbers, whatever you want.
No.
Think of what a real contending team would give you for Mason Miller doing
Think about
what
the
he's doing right now.
Dodgers will give you for Mason Miller.
This is where the Padres have to have their act together and have a real idea of where they're headed as a franchise, because you don't want to you don't want to get fleeced here. You don't want to get fleeced, because I think at some point in time, it's easy to look at the Dodgers and think to yourself, well, what they're offering would just be better than maybe what everybody else is offering because they're constantly dealing from a place of strength. But that might not necessarily be the case. There might be other prospect packages that are better for you, that are a better fit for you in the future and where you're headed, if you have a real understanding and a logical assessment of who you are and where you're going, what your roster could look like in 3 years. I think that's what the Padres have to be careful about. Do we know who we are? Do we know who we want to be? Do we have an understanding of what talent puts us in that position in the future?
It's going to be brutal too, because they're going to be right in that gray zone.
Because the A's have one of their marquee players. Leo DeVries is now an athlete.
No, I understand. And that we've talked a lot on this podcast about like where is this all headed with the Padres? What does this look like a couple of years ago? Machado's contract, Bogart's contract, spending isn't what it was under previous ownership. But like if like they're 39% to make the playoffs right now. Like if that's anything like what it is come the trade deadline, like what future are you building for? I don't. That's my with what like you got to know yourself, and like I'm probably selling a very smart front office short, but it doesn't feel like the Padres are a team that does that sort of self-reflection very often. It feels like
that's why I said it, Jayhay. That's why I said it, is because that like you absolutely have to have a pulse on who you are. Like you got, where are we headed? Who are we? What do we need? What are we willing to give up to go get that? And how much are we valuing that? That's what the Padres have to have answers to. You have to have answers to those questions, because you moved off some promising arms in that Miller trade. You moved off your marquee position player. So who are you now? What are you expecting in return? Do you think you're going to get somebody back as good as Leo DeVries? I don't know that that's likely. Are you,
Who would you target? Like, it's going to be like a top 5 prospect in baseball right now.
Absolutely, Jared.
no question. No
Absolutely. That's not even a question. That's why the A's were like, okay, well, Leo DeVries, that's going to be a tough one to say. Braden Nett, that's going to be a tough one to say. I like these arms at Warniel Nunez. I like, okay, we're listening.
Yeah. Like, what teams, like, all right, let's see. Top 100 prospects in baseball right now.
Padres fans are going to be so pissed we're doing this right now, as they're 10-6.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's a
it's
a
fun.
realistic conversation to have.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, what team would be in the market for Mason Miller that could actually afford him? The Brewers?
They won't do that.
No.
I mean, is this where, like, are you looking at other? That's the thing, is a lot of the prospects here are going to be in the big leagues.
Connor Griffin.
Nope. Like, are you going Bazana from Cleveland?
No, Cleveland won't do that kind of trade. No, you're gonna need somebody that can absorb. Like, presumably, does an acquiring team want to acquire Mason Miller without then getting Mason Miller under contract? Right? Maybe that's a part of this equation that has to be factored in too. And then you're even narrowing it down further. Like, it's very rare, I feel like, that a relief pitcher goes on a hypothetical trade market and we talk about the market narrowing like we do with some megawatt free agents. But it does feel like, now that we're talking it out, that when you factor in that he's just almost impossibly good, that the Padres gave up what they gave up to get him and probably need to operate with that as the baseline for what they want moving forward. Because I think you could argue they've lost some time value, but they've gained some dominance. He's an even more dominant asset than he was at the time of the deal last time. I mean, I don't know that the Phillies have the prospect package to get it done at this point, but they're a team whose bullpen was an issue last year. I know they went out and got Duran, but they're a team that's constantly investing in the present, and they are extremely leveraged towards the present at the moment.
I mean, ultimately what we're asking is, I think I hate to narrow the conversation down to division contenders, just because I think teams are okay if they're on the fringe of not making moves like that to shore up a wild card berth, when you know that you're going to have to give up what you're going to have to give up to bring a Mason Miller into the fold. So, you know, take a division contender or two from each division and ask yourself, like, if we were looking at the standings right now, which is probably unfair to do, but if you were looking at the preseason potential division winners, Jayhay, looking at Fangraphs, what the Zips projected division winners are, how many of those teams are going to be willing to move off of a prospect package that would net Mason Miller, but then how many of those teams are willing to then pursue and pay Mason Miller?
Well,
Like, can you
We
just
don't wanna-
eliminate? Can you eliminate the AL Central altogether?
I think so.
And how about the AL West?
I mean, maybe the Tigers feel compelled because they're capitalizing on Scooble's last season and, in theory, have the prospect capital to get that done probably. But, you know, we're all avoiding saying the Yankees. I think the Yankees, if I don't know what the market says, there probably isn't a market yet on Mason Miller trade destinations. But I would have to think that they would be the number one team in the AL if such a market were to form. I know they don't have a literal top 5 prospect in baseball to build this around, but maybe you could get there in a different way with quantity of very good prospects.
Yeah, I want it to be known here that it was Jared and Jayhay that tried to trade Mason Miller away from the Padres.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the Padres hate me.
I think the Padres with 10 wins right now are feeling as competitive as they could be. Right, they're probably feeling themselves, feeling good about how things are going. Congratulations, Padres fans. That's coming from a place of sincerity. It's Jayhay and Jared who are trying to rip your all-star closer from your clutches. It's not me. So,
No, I just think it would be wise. What other tradable assets do you have that are like a slam dunk on the return versus like offloading a contract?
That team, the Padres specifically,
yeah,
virtually nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
If
Wow,
Pavetta's
Dallas just said it right
healthy,
here. They have no choice but to trade Mason Miller, is what he just said.
I know Pavetta left with elbow stiffness. If he's healthy, he has trade value.
He sucks.
All right. The other bullpen pieces, I guess, although I know Morahan got fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, the Mets. The Mets are they're not playing good ball right now. They've lost 5 straight games, and there's panic in the streets, and Mets fans are not happy with Francisco Lindor.
Hey, can we just stop right there? Because I have to say this. I have to say this, and I have brought this man's name up many a time. He was absolutely crushed, ridiculed. People talk shit to him, tried to chase him off the internet for him voicing not only what was, sure, maybe his opinion, but an opinion that came from about as close of an experience as you could have that's validated. And I'm talking about a guy by the name of Jason Kipnis. Remember when Jason Kipnis tried to tell the free world that maybe Francisco Lindor is not who you think he is. Maybe he's not all smiles and high fives and hugs and handshakes like you think he is. Maybe that's just not the case. Jason Kipnis was ridiculed and told to go piss off and go enjoy retirement, shut your mouth, you know nothing, blah, 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 blah. I can tell you right now, there was not a single fan that I came across over my 3 days at Citi Field, which, side note, I absolutely love Citi Field. Love Citi Field. Give me Yankee Stadium, give me Citi Field, taking Citi Field. Give me the experience at either one of those, I'm taking Citi Field. And it's nothing against Yankee fans, because I love the passion that both of those fan bases bring. Citi Field just kind of spoke to me more. That aside, those fans, they are not happy with this dude. Not happy at all with this dude. Like, there was a play that unfolded in one of the games, ball up the middle. He had no shot at getting to the baseball. No shot at all. Probably should have been at second base in the off chance that Simeon was going to be able to get him the ball to second base, maybe even have a double play unfold. Just didn't happen. Just he was just not there. And fans, and look, I'll tell you this, like, I go and I watch infield. I watch it daily. Whether I'm down on the field or I'm upstairs working, I will stop what I'm doing and I want to watch each and every routine. And I can understand why they feel like he might not be as diligent of a worker as they would like to see. I can also say this for Francisco Lindor. Just because it doesn't look like he's trying hard doesn't mean he's not working hard. And I think there's a lot of players who sort of exude that energy. The way they move just looks different than other guys who are moving and quote unquote working hard. And so I think that can be lost in translation at times. I do want to say that about him because he was out there every day. And whether it's extra work that they're pissed he's not putting in, I can't speak to that because I'm not behind closed doors. But I can tell you that I can't remember a time where virtually every fan that I came across had an opinion that they needed to get off their chest about the same player.
What are those opinions like? I mean, I'm sure it's not all the same universal thing, but how are they ranging?
They're ranging from I expected more. I thought by now the leadership would have surfaced. A lot of them are bitter because he's off to a slow start offensively, which I can respect because, I mean, that's in a vacuum, right? This is a small 15-game window here that they're not happy with. And, I mean, we saw Frankie, I think it was it last year or 2 years ago when he just went on a fucking tear? And then you kind of forget that, the first 15 games of the year didn't go so swimmingly. Like he'll be able to get you over that. I did find one thing funny. His and maybe his walk-up music has been this the whole time, many years, whatever. But it changed from it was My Girl the first 2 games to Stand By Me in the last game. And I even said on TV, I go, maybe this is a bit of a plea from Francisco Lindor to Mets fans. Stand by me, darling. But it was I just had never.
Shout out Benny King.
Some are calling Benny King the corn of his era. I had never heard a fan base like just so up in arms about one dude.
I'm gonna call Clem right now because I think he's a Lindork.
I'd like to say good morning to Clem too.
I feel like he usually picks up by now.
Hello.
Clem, listen, I come in peace, obviously, as someone that picked the Mets to win the World Series.
I know!
Yeah, we're at 5 straight losses, and I know oftentimes Frank is someone that, you want him to shut up because he's just being loud and obnoxious, and he's saying things that, like, deep down, somewhere way down there, you may know that he's right, but you just don't want to face it. Is Frank right about Francisco Lindor?
That he loves losing. He enjoys losing games. Is Frank right about the Mets going 120 the rest of the season? Is he right about that? I'm sorry, Jared. Love the guy. I can't say he's right about those kind of things. The Mets aren't going to win the World Series. I mean, I guess maybe not. 29 teams don't win every year, so. And you're coming to me in peace. You're talking to me about the Mets. You're coming to me in war right now, Jared. That's the kind of face I'm in.
No, same team.
That's the kind of
same team,
mindset
Clem.
Not only is he calling you about the Mets, he's bringing up Frank right off the bat. He's coming. Yeah. He wants blood with you.
Well, because I think Frank has seen through Francisco Lindor from the beginning, and if
you hate everyone, Lindor, you don't get credit for hating the one person that doesn't do well. That's not how that works.
Are you still in on Francisco Lindor, the leader, the guy that's going to be the face of the franchise the next time the Mets win the World Series, or like where are we at on Lindor?
I'm not selling Lindor stock. Okay. Now this is the thing. There's 2 things about the Lindor thing. One, we've all just are at peace with him starting slow. And it hurts every year he starts slow. Even when we're good, it hurts because usually you're watching these cold weather games and it's like 2-1 games. So it hurts enough as is. I am now in the all right, now I don't enjoy the slow starts, but I am used to them. But when you start making base running mistakes and defensive mistakes, he's become like the shortstop Daniel Murphy, basically, for us. Yeah. That's not good. So I am now coping or trying to I'm creating excuses for him. So currently is the big one in the Mets community right now is that on in game 2 of the season against the Pirates, he had a collision at home plate and he has an undiagnosed concussion.
Okay.
Francisco Lindor having an undiagnosed concussion and playing the way he has the last 2 weeks is more of a realistic take to me than like the Monstars just sucked up his ability to play baseball, because I don't understand that part of it. And I know our boy Jayhay is biting his lip going, don't you talk bad about Lindor, because he's on my side with Lindor. When we're looking good in August and the whole stadium's singing, I got sunshine, I want all the Lindorks to get loud every April. They are just a bunch of, I call them the mayflies. They're very annoying and pesky, and then by August they're all dead. So that's where I'm gonna stay on the Lindor ship. And hey, if it sinks, I'm sinking with it.
Clem,
I respect it. I mean, you got to go down with the ship.
I gotta ask Clem. I gotta ask. Is Stand By Me? Is that in his walk up song rotation? Also.
It might be. He has a lot of those great old like the Motown bangers.
Okay, because I wasn't aware. I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time at Citi Field, and I felt like, I mean, you mentioned the bad base running. It was Nick Kurtz who made a great defensive play, catching the would-be captain a little too far off third base, nailed him, back pick, inning over, basically game over. And then it was the defensive play. Where he wasn't covering second base, didn't have an opportunity to get a double play. I mean, you know how those games ended, right? All three of them. But I was just wondering if there has been an uptick in the vitriol surrounding Francisco Lindor here recently that feels unfamiliar, or that feels like it might be a little too much, or maybe even undeserving, or is this a deserving amount of vitriol?
It's definitely deserving. Listen, you play poorly, that's not great, but it's like it's baseball, 162 games, then I'll make my decision on him. When you're making dumb plays or plays that seem to lack focus or effort, that's when the fans will really come down on you. And I'm not a boo your own player guy, because I've personally never heard a player go, you know when I really turned it around? When the 20,000 people started booing me. We're booing the weather. We're booing the life. We're booing the team starting from June of last year till now. It's not just towards one person, but the vitriol Lindor, it always comes out in April. You can set your watch to it, essentially, which isn't exactly a great thing. It's actually kind of amazing. He's like top 3 in shortstop numbers every season since he's become a Met. The fact that he gets off these slow starts, I'm like, if he just started hot, he'd be like, peak A-Rod numbers or something. It's crazy. But it is every year, except this year is a little more deserved, because you said the stuff in the A series, but there were screw-ups in other series as well. So it's like, at one point do we start getting concerned? And I think Jerry Blevins had a line like, is there something else going on, something else to see, something first? Like, you don't know that kind of stuff. And that's the stuff us fans aren't privy to, obviously. And you just hope that whatever it is, it's just baseball. You can figure it all out. But as someone that has had to fight off, trying to tell people Francisco Lindor is good now for 6 years running, at some point it's like, I just don't know what to tell you guys. He gets off the slow Aprils. But when you start making kind of like ugly mistakes like that, it's harder to defend, because if he keeps them going, at some point you're like, again, I saw Roberto Alomar come to the Mets, Roberto Alomar Jr., and the guy just like forgot how to play baseball. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's starting to feel like that, where it's like, did Lindor just get his talent sucked out of him?
Yeah, it is. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch our Mets get off to the start that they've gotten off to. I mean, I'm in last place twice right now. It fucking sucks. But I think we had a conversation earlier in the show about like the most fraudulent first place teams, and then the teams that are in last place that don't belong there. I think we can all agree the A's are the most fraudulent first place team, and then you got the Red Sox and the Mets are in last place and they don't belong there. Like, that's the conversation that I'm trying to steer right now.
I'm not going to say anything bad about the A's, because I feel like if I do, they're just going to come back and sweep my team again somehow, even if they're not on the schedule. And the worst thing is the A's are just hitting me with guys that I kind of know, or it's like, I've heard this orders from guys. Good old Brett Rooker and Butler, he was good that one year. And obviously McNeil, what do you say? Shot it up, turned that sumbitch sideways and shoved it straight up our candy asses there. But nothing but love for Jeff. 6 for 13. Played a second base that I didn't know he was even capable of anymore.
Yeah, he did.
That one hurt, but tough times in Red Sox land.
Clip, did you expect the ovation? Did you? I don't know. I don't know if you were in the building or not, but I went to lunch with Blevins the day before, and when he had we went to lunch the day of, and that night Blev texted me like right as it happened. He was like, "Bro, I cannot remember an ovation for a returning player that felt like that sounded like that looked like that." Because it was great. They loved on him every at bat, all 3 days. They appreciated him.
That's a great question, Dallas. And to be honest, I did not expect it. I personally thought he deserved an ovation, and it was louder than even I expected. I expected like some smattering of boos, because by the end it was like, Jeff obviously has dipped from like the batting champion that he was to like, ugly averages that I'm sure even he's not happy with. And he was always just pissed and throwing his helmet and cursing. And then again, him and Lindor would always seem to have some sort of a tussle reported, or, some allegations would be thrown out by like a newspaper. And I think the fan base had become so sick of it. But honestly, kind of what I'm talking about, this malaise and this offense that doesn't seem to care. What was it? A 4-pitch ninth inning and a 1-run game. We need that kind of fire. So it's like, the guy you guys shipped out for like a, 17-year-old, he at least had the fire. He cared. And I think, honestly, that kind of made fans miss like a guy who actually did care like that. And, did deliver some good batting and defense in the past that has kind of been forgotten as he's gotten older.
All right, Clem. I don't know how I feel about this call right now. I feel like, I feel like we're still, it didn't make me feel worse, but I don't think it made me feel better either.
Jared, this is when you get concerned.
Yeah.
When the call isn't picked up. That's when you get concerned about it. It's like the opposite of, Will Hunting. You don't want to be looking for, knocking on the door. I'm not answering the door. He's looking forward to that. Ben Affleck, don't you wish that upon me, because that's when things are really bad. But listen, we're in the house together. That door's locked. There ain't no coming out, and we're just going to keep. And what do I have now? 10:05 tonight. Oh, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yikes.
That's the one team. You want to talk about a first place team that is not fraudulent? It's that group of monsters. David Peterson's throwing, batting practice to, the Giants. I can't even imagine what the Dodgers are going to do to them. So, in the words of our friend Kevin Clancy, Mama Clancy said herself, sleep is the only escape. That's all we got.
But Nolan McLean versus Yamamoto tomorrow night. That'll be fun.
That's going to be very cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Maybe you can pop in for an inning or something on Just the Nuts tomorrow night.
We'll see, Jared. I don't know, man. I'm hurt. We'll see about tonight. Hey, this is sometimes when they surprise us. Maybe they need to get out of that negative atmosphere, warm up. The California sunshine warms them up, and they don't have a bunch of people booing them every time they take the field. Yeah. Maybe that'll work. So,
this'll work.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, nice sunshine and rainbows. We'll get over there and we'll figure this thing out, Clem. We're going to right the ship, buddy, all right?
We're going to do this together.
We're going to do it together.
And congrats, Dallas. Congrats from the bottom of my heart. I hope you guys keep crushing it this year.
Thank you, Clem. I appreciate you as always, brother.
All right, we'll see you, Clem.
All right, bye.
Love you more. That's Clem. Yeah, the Astros, huh? You want to talk about last place teams that actually do suck, Dallas? The Astros have lost 7 straight baseball games. It's tough to see. I want to say, half their wins have come against the Red Sox this season, but yeah, they've lost 7 straight. What's the concern level for the Astros if you had one?
Like I said, I think it's well founded. I think it's well founded just based on the issues that I kind of pointed out earlier with what they're dealing with from an injury perspective. Like when there were questions about what was going to come in behind a Hunter Brown and an Imai, and those questions kind of still exist, especially with the injury now. I think you understand why there is apprehension here. I think that's fair to say. The bright spot is Yordan Alvarez, but as I mentioned, you can't expect Yordan Alvarez to carry an offense for the entire season. That just is not viable. It's just not. Not that he's not viable and the performance isn't viable, but I mean, and their bullpen their bullpen has not been good.
I'm going to say it.
Say it, Jayhay.
They're toast. Astros
The
are done.
Astros?
Astros
Wow.
are done.
That's strong.
The Astros are toast, you're saying.
Yep. I don't think they're going to make a real run this year. Wow. I think they're the fourth best team in the division. And I just don't think there's any way that the pitching aligns itself in a way that's everybody's healthy at the same time, or that even the pitching that they have is good enough to sustain any real run at this point. And I don't think the offense is like top of league for the rest of the season. And so I don't think they can carry said pitching.
Wow. That's a bold proclamation.
Mark it down.
I'll for sure mark it down. Imai is going on the 15-day IL. Just came out right now.
Well, that was so Imai left. That was the thing. So when we were talking about it earlier, I didn't want to say anything, but Imai left the team the other day to fly back to Houston, and we knew how that ended up when Hunter Brown left the team to fly back to Houston. So you have those guys. I mean, that's what 3/5 of their rotation on the IL.
It's not what you want.
No, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Who's more fucked, the Blue Jays or the Astros?
I honestly think that it's an interesting question, because really it's just about the length of time that I think that's going to be missed with these arms. Because when you can inject a healthy rotation back into a existing rotation, which is what both teams will be able to do, although the existing rotation, even as it sits right now for the Blue Jays, I would say probably a little better off than what the Astros are working with. Things can change, but I think a lot of it is based on how long and how much time these guys are going to miss. Right? Like for the Blue Jays, we understand we're not going to see Cody Ponce, and as shitty as that is, do you have hope that you are able to pencil in at some point in time one of the other guys? Right? Like, are we going to see Barrios? I don't know. We're going to see Bieber? Probably.
He just got moved to the 60-day.
Well, I mean, but that's all based on like roster moves and roster space. And so, but the idea that we could see Bieber at some point in time this year, yes. You Savage? Well, we got to see how this impingement thing goes. Speaking from entirely too much experience dealing with that shit, it can be very hit or miss. It could be very hit or miss. Man, well, you know what? This round of anti-inflammatories really helped, blah, 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 blah. I feel great. Here we go. Or
Mr. Pena also on the injured list.
yeah, what did he go on the IL for? The finger still?
Not sure.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Pena?
Knee injury.
Knee.
Any other stories you guys want to get to?
No, I think we kind of touched on the majority of them. Oh, you know what? I would like to touch on José Soriano,
Yeah.
because that dude
What a
is
beast.
he's been an absolute animal. I mean, he's the first pitcher since 1900 to go 25 plus innings in their first 4 starts, surrender 10 or less hits, and give up fewer than 2 runs in those 4 starts. That's dealing. That is absolutely dealing. And he just, like, with his shit, like his arsenal specifically. I mean, right now his split, he's got a 42% whiff rate on the split finger. He's thrown 49 of them, 31 of them for strikes. He's gotten 24 swings, 10 misses on that pitch. The curveball, he's thrown 104 curveballs, 65 for strikes, 47 swings, 22 misses. Just fucking wind farm. Everything he's throwing for strikes. He's throwing his fastball at over 70% strike rate. Like that's big time. That is big time. I mean, how many hits has he surrendered? 10? 10 total?
Yeah.
I mean, my God. it's incredible. It's absolutely dominant. They're 2 for 30 against his sinker. 2. They're hitting 067 against the sinker. They're hitting 105 against the curveball. 063 against the split. Like, he is as dominant as it gets right now.
Nice trade chip.
Could be it. I was just going to say, Jayhay, could be a trade piece.
Yeah, why not?
2 more years of arbitration eligibility after this year before being a free agent prior to 29. That's a lot of control for a team.
Yep. Jayhay, any award-winning Nugs today?
Oh man, I got you loaded up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, buckle up. Here we go. Pajes from earlier. He's got a league-leading 24 hits and a league-leading 17 RBI. Players 25 or younger with 24 or more hits and 17 or more RBI through the first 15 games of a season in the wild card era. Obviously him this season. Jackson Merrill last year. Cody Bellinger in 2019. Devin Mesoraco, name I hadn't thought about in a while, in 2014. Chris Shelton, 2006. And Chipper Jones in 1998. The Phillies pitching staff somehow has the 3rd highest strikeout rate, the lowest walk rate, and a top 10 home run allowed per 9-inning mark, but it ranks tied for 19th in ERA because it has the largest gap between its ERA and FIP of any team in baseball right now at 1.42, 4.16 ERA, 2.74 FIP. Doesn't help that the team has a cover-your-eyes awful defense right now, and maybe permanently. We talked Mason Miller. Most strikeouts among individual pitch types that have been thrown fewer than 100 times this season. Miller's got 14 strikeouts with his slider on only 48 sliders thrown. Tyler Glasnow has 13 with his curveball, and Sanchez has 13 with his changeup, but those are on 92 and 86 pitches respectively, so basically double what Miller's done. Obviously, a lot of ways you can chop this up. Our friend of the pod, Sarah Langs, had a good note. One of those unsexy ones, but I thought was kind of cool from a historical perspective. Matt Olson, Platinum Glover, is playing his 798th consecutive game. This was on Sunday, which goes back to May 2nd, 2021. That is, again, 798. I know nothing compares to Cal Ripken at 2632, but 798 is tied for the 11th longest consecutive game streak in MLB history. The only players that the 3 of us have watched play that played in more, Miguel Tejada from 2000 to 2007, 1152, and Cal Ripken Jr., 2632. So there's only 3 including Olson. Everybody else is from the 1970s or earlier. So really, really rare stuff. Continuing on, the José Soriano, obviously we just talked about him, 0.33 ERA through his first 4 starts. That is the 6th lowest ERA for a pitcher through the first 4 starts of a season in the wild card era. The only instances of a lower ERA, you're going to hear a lot of Cy Young names here. Zach Greinke in 2009 had a 0.00 ERA. Cliff Lee in 2008, Pedro Martinez in 1997, Jacob deGrom in 2021, and Roger Clemens in 2005. So this is, I know Dallas had something just a few minutes ago, but this is really the rarest of air that José Soriano has put himself with, admittedly through, of course, only 4 starts. Drew Rasmussen had a fire start against the Yankees on Sunday. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks. Instances of those stat lines in the wild card era: Evaldi in 25, Logan Gilbert in 21, Sale in 2014, Blake Beavan in 2013, Billy Traber, shout out former Indian, in 2003, and Jamie Moyer, former BBTN great. Well, he was on Baseball Tonight. Jamie Moyer, 2001. Again, Soriano, 8th pitcher in Angels history to have consecutive starts within the same season featuring 10 or more strikeouts and 1 or 0 walks. The other pitchers to do that: Nolan Ryan had 8 separate streaks of that. Dean Chance in 64, Frank Tanana in 1976, Lackey in 06, Heaney in 19, Dylan Bundy in 2020, and Ohtani in both 22 and 23. And Jordan Walker, who we will continue to monitor as the season goes on, the 15th instance of a National League player aged 24 or younger having 7 or more homers through the first 15 games of a season. Christopher Morel, William Contreras, Fernando Tatis Jr. twice, Acuna, Soto, Austin Riley, Bellinger, Rhys Hoskins, Trevor Story, Bryce Harper, Matt Kemp, Adam Dunn, and Ryan Klesko. Also of note, that Jordan Walker now has 7 homers in 15 games. He had 6 homers in 111 games all of last season. Final 3 notes. Nick Kurtz's homer, which Dallas was fortunate enough to see live. Very cool. Third longest homerless streak of his career. His only 2 longer streaks were the first 16 games of his career and the 15 games immediately following his 4-homer game. O'Neal Cruz, he's racking up the counting stats. He's the first NL player with 5 or more homers and 5 or more stolen bases through the first 15 games of a season since both Larry Walker and Ray Lankford did so in 1997. And lastly, Gunnar Henderson is the 4th player in American League history, age 25 or younger, to have 6 or more homers and 3 or more stolen bases through the first 15 games of a season, joining Wyatt Langford last season and both Reggie Jackson and Bobby Mercer in 1969. And those are the Nugs.
Thank you, Justin Havens. Okay. Dallas, you have any final thoughts today?
I do. I have final thoughts. Something that we did not touch on. You guys caught wind of Jazz Chisholm not understanding the rules of baseball?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was tough to watch. The post-game press conference. That was tough to watch. And you could hear...
You think he was being serious?
Yes. Do you think he was being serious?
I couldn't tell. It to me, there's a chance he was being serious because I mean he's a weird cat. A chance that he was being serious, but also being snarky towards the media, being like, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't know the rule." Like, of course I know the rule.
You could see, like for me, what gave it away? For me, what gave it away was the eyes, like how he was like kind of like looking for somebody to, just like, right? Like, what was I, right? Is that how it goes? And you could hear Trent Grisham, as it said in the locker next to him, like explaining to him, like, no, you go to first there and that run scores. Yeah. Sorry, bud. And that's where he was like, oh, well, I guess what I was thinking about doing in my head wouldn't have worked anyway. Yeah. Just
not great.
Just tough. But yeah, my final thoughts. A's 5-1 in that New York City road trip. It's the first time since 2021 that they have collected 5 wins on a 6-game roadie. That's a big deal. Kurtz, the one homer that Jayhay just touched on, was really the only swing they needed to win one of those games. He's also got 14 walks on the season, which is second in baseball behind Mike Trout. And if you're not going to be driving the ball out of the ballpark, like we know he's more than capable of doing, as he said himself, I want to be able to contribute in different ways. He made some phenomenal defensive plays all series long. He's been great defensively so far this season. I talked to Clem about the throw that he made across the diamond, hard hit ball in a 1-0 ball game. He had to make a decision to try to get a double play with nobody out, let a run score, which would have been Lindor, tie the game late, or do I make this throw, high risk, across the diamond, high reward, I get Francisco Lindor, and we keep the game where it's at. He did that, just incredible. And I want to shout out Aaron Savali, because Aaron Savali was sort of an afterthought in this rotation, even when he was acquired, as someone who was, well, what's he going to bring to the table? Like, this dude doesn't have swing and miss stuff. Like, is he going to be able to work his way through a lineup? Well, all he's done is gone 5+ innings in each one of his 3 starts, responsible for the team's first win, responsible for the rotation's first win, 1.72 ERA over those 3 starts. He's been the rotation stabilizer for the Athletics, as consistent of a performer as you could want, especially at the back end of a rotation. So that's something that I absolutely love to see. And shout out Joel Kuhnel, who logged his second big league save this season after having just one under his belt over his entire big league career up until this point. He just came up and gave a much needed injection of life into that bullpen. So green and gold off to a nice start considering their road trip and the schedule that they were handed to start this season.
The Ichiro statue, tough look. I don't know how you break the bat on the unveiling, but still a great gesture. You know, I think they fixed it. I'm pretty sure they fixed it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't unveil a statue that breaks with like a tarp. Like that can't be very expensively or
maybe it was
I don't know.
a tough tarp pull, Jared.
It's just tough. Like, how is that not solid bronze or something?
Yeah.
It's fucking Ichiro.
Why are all of these so fucking difficult? Why is the bat bending over? Why do some of them look nothing like the person that they're supposed to be depicting? Like, what is the quality control? Why is this industry so difficult to just fucking do the job correctly? That was going to be my final thought too. So I'm glad you brought it up. I don't get it.
Yeah. The statue industry is the first to go once the robots take over. Like, you mean to tell me a robot couldn't make a better fucking Ichiro statue or a Dwayne Wade statue?
Some of these people, you would have no idea that the statue is of the person that they're depicting, other than that the person is standing right next to it while they unveil the statue.
Was it the Ronaldo one?
That one sucks too.
That was like the first like
Oh
social media like ghastly bad.
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade. There was a baseball one recently that was just like who was it? Now it's gonna.
If I was an athlete in some organization was like, we're gonna make a statue of you, I'd be like, no, thank you.
I'm good.
I don't
have to.
Like, you're gonna humiliate me with whatever this ends up looking like, and then I'm gonna have to answer questions about it for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, I think Dwayne Wade just did an interview recently where he got asked about his statue, and he had to like pretend like it was a good statue.
Very appreciative, man. Very appreciative.
Yeah. Appreciate the work that
It's
went
like,
into
what
it.
an honor. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't look like you at all. Anyways, Just the Nuts tomorrow night. Baseball is Dead. .com for your Baseball is Dead merch. Patreon is on the way. I will not be here on Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday. These guys will be here on Wednesday. I am closing on the new house on Wednesday, so
That's
will
very
not
exciting.
be here. Yes.
Make sure to give everybody the address when you have it.
Yeah, you guys can come on by. The thing, Dallas, I don't know what your lockout plans are, but the new house has quite a large yard that I want to build like a wiffle ball stadium with like seating capacity. I want to, like, I'm thinking like we stream it, we create like a wiffle ball league, we sell tickets to come watch the games, we broadcast the games on YouTube.
Ooh, I'll get out there.
So if you wanted to get like an Airbnb for the lockout.
Jayhay's already taking batting practice. He'll
Yeah,
be
I'm
warming up
getting my
for the
practice
next
cuts
6
in.
months.
Base. Yeah. Yep. I'm just saying.
Don't tease me with a good time.
Yeah, sounds like an opportunity to me. But okay. I'll see you guys on Just the Nuts, but I'll be back for BID on Thursday. These guys will have it for you guys on Wednesday.
Oh,
See you
wow.
We
then.
go.